Welcome back. It's Life with Lizzie. I'm Lizzie. That's
Mike.
And we're in the marriage toolbox. We in the box, y'all. Listen, thank you so much for coming back. We so appreciate you showing up every weekend, every Saturday, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, right here at Believe Radio. We say it all the time. You got to believe in something. You might as well believe in us. So do me a favor, go ahead, tag a neighbor, call a friend, let them know that Mike and Lizzie is in and we are ready to talk life. And we talking about marriage this week, honey. We are talking about relationships and the things that make you say, ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh. Listen, y'all, tag your friends, tag your neighbors, listen, call your favorite couples. Listen, even those that's out there, they might be, tag them, right? And let them know that Mike and Lizzie, we're in, and we got some special guests. Yeah. I'm excited about our guests because, listen, they're our favorite couple. They so real. They so amazing. We love them. Like, we love them out loud. There's no secret to how much that we love this couple. So I want you guys to come on back so you can find out who this couple is. But in the meantime, in between time, you guys have been sending us messages and things that you want us to speak about and to kind of answer some questions. So I want to say thank you because that inbox is hot. That email is hot. So if you want to send us some messages or you just want to give us some feedback, and like with Lizzie, the marriage toolbox has been a blessing to you, go ahead and contact us at believeradio.lifewithlizzie@gmail.com. Again, that's believeradio.lifewithlizzie@gmail.com. I think it's down there on the screen somewhere. So you're going to do that. Well, you ready, Mike?
Let's go.
How are you? Because you're looking good today, sir. I can say that. Listen.
You're not talking about me.
Listen, well, I don't know.
You're talking about marriage and the toolbox.
I'm married. And
what's in the toolbox?
We in the box. I can tell you fine today. Listen. Keep on. All right. Okay. Let me go and introduce our family. Let's introduce our friends before we stay focused, Lizzie. Stay focused. Hey, y'all. We got our favorites. Listen, they are some of the most humblest, amazing, authentic, just genuine people in a couple that we cherish and we love and we totally respect. And we thought it would just be the best decision to bring some of our friends. We believe that iron sharpens iron. So to bring some of our friends to the toolbox, and guess who's here? Bishop George and Lady Prophetess Val Warlaw. They here. Y'all welcome them. Y'all come on in the box. Come on in the box. Hey, y'all in the box. Y'all.
There you go.
There they are. How are you?
We're well. Well, I'm doing well. And how are you doing?
Well, I'm with this guy, so I'm doing well.
So we good.
I'm doing pretty good.
You guys are looking amazing.
Thank you. We'll take it. Likewise to you guys. Thank you so much for inviting us to be a part of what's happening at Life with Lizzie and also the Marriage Toolbox section. We're just super honored. There's so many people you could have invited. So to think of myself and my groom, I'm certainly honored and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know about so many people, but it's child. We out here. Thank you for your yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for your yes. We so appreciate you guys. We love you guys. You guys are looking great over there.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Maybe we're looking pretty good.
We're aging backwards. We got a little touch of that Benjamin Button.
There
we go.
I love it. I love it.
We're hoping.
So listen, thank you for joining us in the box. This is simply going to be an amazing conversation. Yeah. I know we can talk for hours because we just love one another and we love each other's company. And we just thought it would be fitting to bring some of our favorites to the box, and it was a no-brainer to have you here because we love how you love. We love, you guys are such an amazing example, not only inside of service, because sometimes people can only see, you know, oh, that's Bishop George, Wordlaw, that's Prophetess Val, but outside, you guys are just as amazing in that regard. And so I wanted to, and Bishop wanted to bring you guys here because I love Val. That's my sis, straight up and down, no chasers. That's my girl. And I can't love you without loving my brother. And so we just said the word lost. Absolutely.
Thank you.
So we appreciate and we love how you guys do marriage. And we just gonna hop in there. How did y'all meet?
Oh, that is a
it's a soulful question. It was not romantic at all. It was very, very soulful. And
it wasn't romantic?
Story.
Well, let me tell romantic. What happened. So we
are you gonna make it romantic?
No, I'm just gonna tell.
He say no.
This is what happened.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so we met at Walmart.
Soulful.
So if you want a good wife or a good husband, Walmart has them. We met.
Out 5. Pick up.
It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. She was walking down the aisle. She saw the glory. And when she saw the glory, she turned, looked at me, and I got a tap on the shoulder from a friend she was with, and said that this young lady said that I was a man of God. And I said, okay. And we started talking backwards and forth. And, you know, she kept looking at me, looking at my eyes, looking up and down. I was like, oh, she wants me, you know, and stuff like that. So I gave her my phone number reluctantly. I was like, okay, here you go. You can have my number, and you know, but I'll let you know when to call me. And that is all the history after that.
Can y'all cut any of this? Hiding somewhere in that fairy tale is the truth. We did.
Where did you say somewhere in the town?
We did meet at Walmart. It was a chance meeting there. And honestly, it was that initial meeting that led into our courtship, which eventually led to our marriage. But yeah, we really did meet at Walmart, which I think is just beyond soulful. I mean, Walmart, I prefer Target.
That was back in the day when everybody was like wearing their pajamas at Walmart at night.
You ain't never seen me in my pajamas.
No, not you.
Oh.
She was painting at the church. So she was painting at the church. Mm-hmm. She had her hair back in a ball. She didn't have on any makeup at all. And so I was just so blessed to know what I was getting right up front.
Right.
Listen, it wasn't mystery. It wasn't mystery work.
Mystery at all. And I tell you what I did do, though. When I saw her, I did say out loud, "That's my wife." And I don't know what prompted me to say that.
Perhaps it was my glory.
Come on, sis. Come on. Yes. Glory recognized glory. Yeah.
My own Chicana.
Maybe it was.
It was meant to be.
It was definitely meant to be.
We are meant to be.
And
it is still.
I tell you, after that, we started dating. We became best friends. We are best friends.
Oh yeah. We are family. We are best friends. We are husband and wife. We are friends.
We're boyfriend and girlfriend. We're lovers. Yeah. We are, put us on an island all by ourselves, and we could survive.
We could make it.
Sure. As long as we had us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Since the day we met, it has been sealed in the heavens. It has been. And the Lord has been faithful to us through every step of our journey, every season of our covenant. The Lord has been faithful because this is sealed in the heavens. And we have both done our best to honor the covenant that we made to the Lord. Absolutely. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about us. But yeah, I mean, yeah, so now you understand why I said soulful. Walmart is a soulful place to be. He described people with pajamas. That is where we met. I mean, Walmart. But
I love it.
I took Walmart and made some Target out of it.
Look, she calls it soulful.
That is soulful, babe.
I call it God.
Right. He said, I call it God. Now, you said something. You said you immediately out of your mouth said, that's my wife.
Right.
I have a question.
Yes.
We talk about this all the time. And I'm just, like, there are some brothers, and I'm not trying to put y'all under the bus or anything like that, but you knew immediately in Walmart, that's my wife. Just an unction. What's with the 7-year? I still don't know if she my wife.
So 2 things actually. One is after I said that's my wife, I rebuked my own self because I didn't know what prompted me to say that. So, but I will tell you this: I knew what I wanted when after a conversation with her, there was no doubt in my mind. There was not. In fact, I think my words verbatim was, we're not going to be dating long. I'm not going on a long courtship.
Did y'all read the same manual? What's that?
I told her on the first date at Starbucks, because Starbucks is where you're going to date because you can hear each other and nobody can hide behind anything. It's just a cup of coffee.
Starbucks, guys.
And let's converse. And so I told her, I said, I'm going to marry you.
He did.
You're going to be my wife. That on the first date, I knew. And on the first date, I asked her as we were walking to the Container Store. We went walking around Container Store. I said, can I hold your hand? And so she said, yes. She let me hold her hand. Now I've had that hand ever since.
Oh, no, sis, what was going through your head? Like, okay.
He crazy.
Did not.
What was I mean, because listen, Bishop just threw that on out here. Listen.
He did. I will tell you that, I will say that he was a gentleman of a certain age, which means he was out of his 20s, right? Because men are still growing, right? They're still growing into maturity. So when a gentleman is...
Go ahead.
When a gentleman is in his 20s, they're still learning themselves. They're still learning the world around him. When we get out of our 20s, we're in our 30s. A gentleman, they may not know that you are their wife in a couple of months, but my beautiful sisters, after 6 months of dating you, he knows if you're not her.
Very much so.
He knows if you're not her.
Absolutely.
And so then it's up to our sisters to go ahead and put those boundaries up to decide, you know what, it's not moving the way I want it to move. And it's been 6 months and I'm not going to continue to share my time with you if this is not going the way I want it to go. Through my head, I was just thinking, I just thought he was more intentional than any man I'd ever known. And so I kind of didn't know what to do with that, right? I did not know what to do with him being so forward and so intentional, not love bombing me, but just very upfront with his words, intentional. And then I think the biggest thing that that took me and what I want my sisters to be looking out for is the follow through. The brother was consistent. What he said he was going to do, he did it. If he said, I'm going to call you back, I have to take a business call. The brother called me back. I didn't have to call him and say, I thought you were going to call me back. No, he was consistent. Yeah. It was clear to me that I was being pursued. It was clear to me that I was being pursued. He wasn't trying to go to bed with me. He wasn't trying to, anything like that. It was clear to me that I was being pursued to be potentially a life mate or wife, right? It was clear to me with this language. It was clear to me in the conversation. To all of my, my beautiful sisters out there who, that first date needs to be at Ruth Chris or something. Our first date was at Starbucks, and we've been to Ruth Chris plenty of times. So, but our first date was at Starbucks, but it was a date of intention, There's no time to be scarfing down a steak. He was very serious, very poignant with his questions, asked me about my goals, asked me what I was looking for. It was really, a cut to the chase.
All of this on the first date?
It was the first date. He was he was very intentional with the questions. Now, I will tell you that date went so well that we met that afternoon for coffee, and we talked so long. We went walking, we talked, and then it was lunchtime. So he said, would you mind if I bought you lunch? And I said, okay. So then we had lunch, and that lunch lasted. We talked, we got back in his car, we laughed, we joked around, we rode around. Then it was dinner time. And he said, well, it was dinner time now. Would you mind if I bought you dinner? And so that first date was a coffee date that led.
Oh, you hit all you listen. You hit it out the park on the first. That's the first date, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Story. And you know, I'm careful. We're careful when we share a story because everyone. It's not going to be like that for everyone. Right. But then there are certain principal things that are important to keep in mind. Intention. It was clear to me that I was being pursued, that I was not the pursuant, right? Mm-hmm. It was clear to me that I was being pursued. It was clear to me that he was consistent, a man of his word. Whatever he said he was going to do with regard to our courtship, he did it. If he was going to be late, he called and said, I'm going to be late. We're still going to go to the movie, you know, but I'm running a little late. Is that okay? So he was intentional. So I was being pursued. He was being intentional, and he was consistent. And those were the three keys that let me know that I had crossed over from dealing with boys and I was dealing with a man.
Right. One of the things I like about what you've said, out of all the things that you've outlined, is when I look at it from a brother's perspective, it goes back to what he originally said. I knew what I wanted. And when a brother knows what he wants, you then begin to craft your ways and your words to get the very thing that you want, which means I'm not playing no games. I don't have time for side games, right? Because I see and I know exactly what I want. And I think both men and women need to hone in on that portion, because so many times we're out there seeing what's out there, but not knowing what we want. Right. And I think that's where we get into a lot of trouble, and we kind of end up with Lottie Dottie and everybody, because you still haven't set with yourself to figure out what do I want, right? Instead of sampling everything, because you know, like I know, if you sample some of everything, you don't know which one made you sick.
That's right.
You don't have a problem.
Right.
That's right. You don't know what made you sick, and then you develop a taste for variety.
Right.
That's a dangerous thing to have
in a marriage,
if you're talking about going into a marriage.
Yeah.
I will give away this man secret. A man will absolutely, positively will, I don't care how busy he is, make time for what he wants.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm telling you, I was pastoring. I was building. I was looking at entrepreneurship. I was doing everything. In fact, I had 2 campuses, but that was not a night.
Right.
That was not a day that I did not talk to her. In fact, I think we saw each other every day. Almost every day when I came back from that revival.
We made it a priority.
Yeah, I made her my priority, because this is the thing about it. When I saw her, it wasn't, I just saw what I wanted. I saw what would be with me for the rest of my life. It was like of a puzzle. It fit. And I knew that this fit would last the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Can I ask the brother something here? Sis, you bring a very valid point. You said I was being pursued. What does that do for you when you, in the pursuit, we give you the response that you were hoping for? Does that increase the pursuit? Like, because I heard brothers, you like the pursuing. And you don't want to be pursued, but you want to do the hunting. What happens when we give you that just a little shoulder that is working?
Well, it's I think any brother, any man that says he doesn't have any ego at all could not be telling the truth. So just giving me that that little hint that you're on the right track, or you have my attention,
Yeah.
Then once I have your attention, now it is my time to show you the things that could be, the things that you could be enjoying, all those things, and not just show you this this facade, like
Right.
this is me.
Right.
And if you love this, this is what it will be every day, almost every day. I have her laughing almost every day. We're joking. We cannot sleep without a leg on somebody,
Right.
on somebody, or something, or I'll say, hey, which cover are you under now? I need to put my hand on you or something, like
Right.
It's just I that giving us that little hint that we're on the right track. It just kind of makes us stick our chests out, and say, oh, that way. We're
Right.
going the right way. So
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
I think for me, the first word that comes to mind is validation. Yeah, I've been validated that I am thinking in the right direction, right?
You can park here. I validate.
I'm not wasting time. This is working. What I'm doing is working. What I thought of is working, right?
There we go.
What's in my head really works, or somebody really wants to hear what's been rolling around in my head.
Right.
I'm all right.
Yes.
I'm all right.
Right.
Yes. In fact, I'll say this, Bishop, to that. When you said that, it made me think of how I felt when I was getting that validation from her. It made all those little insecurities that men hide, and men put to the side and say, that's not me. Well, then all of a sudden now I'm looking at somebody who says, you know what? That's not an insecurity. I actually like that. That's what I want, I felt like, okay, now I'm short. I'm 5'7". Most men are 6 foot, so if you're looking for a 6 foot man, that's not me. I'm 5'7", and for her to validate me in such a way where she was saying, yes, I would love to go to dinner, and yes, I would love to go to lunch, and yes, let's spend the day together, and now I'm going, you know what? Now, I'm starting to rethink being short, rethink being 5'7". Einstein's theory of relativity said one of the things it says is that if you're going to measure something, you have to have something to measure it by. If everything grew by 10%, nobody know that anything grew. But if only one thing grew, then you have something to measure by. And us 5'7" guys, you guys wouldn't know you were tall without us.
Right. Now that's the truth. Now that's the truth. 100%.
Wow.
100%.
Wow, Bishop, I think you stepped into something, because it's not often, even, and I'm gonna go here, even in the positions that you both hold, that you are brave enough to say there's some insecurities, and to show it and let us still love that. And that's not, like pop our hands, like don't touch that. But that's the thing that attracts me to you. And that's the thing, I know for me as a wife, that's the thing I'm covering. Nobody will know what he can't do. I'm gonna always make sure he's presented in the best light. So in relationships, how important is it that we don't come into the marriage or come into the relationship with all of this facade, all of these masks? Because I see a generation where, they're marketing and, they have strategies, but when they get together, it is so not what the commercial said. It's so much false advertisement. How do we speak to those that are watching and share with them the importance of being their authentic self?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think this generation, the folks who we're speaking with that are, perhaps one day you will be married and you're not right at this moment. I think the tool that you have readily available to you that we didn't necessarily have, or that you guys didn't necessarily have before you entered the covenant of marriages, that therapy is so readily available. I I tell folks all the time, the one best gift that you can give yourself before you become one with someone else is having a really good understanding of who you are.
Who you are.
Beyond your accomplishments, those are not who you are. Those
Right.
are what you've done.
Right.
Right. Beyond your accomplishments, beyond your physical appearance, because that can be gone. You can
will change.
put you on steroid shots, right? And you ain't fine no more. Or you can get in a crack. And, that beautiful face is,
gravity happens.
It could be so many. So who are you really? Right. Who are you really? And so I think, and something I wish I would have done before becoming a wife, but the Lord gave him grace to be with me while finding myself, and gave me grace to keep showing up for myself as I learned myself. But a gift that I'd like to give to anyone who's watching that's not married and that one day you want to be married is that gift is understanding who you are, who God has created you to be, scars and all, right? This means not suppressing the molestation. This means not pretending like you don't have an addiction. This means actually delving into those things, right? This means getting the help that is readily available to you so that you are as strong as you can be yourself, so that you have an understanding of yourself. Often, if we don't have an understanding of who we are, what makes us tick, what are our stressors, what are our triggers, then, we get married and this person comes along and they're triggering us and we don't even know how to express it.
Right.
All I did was touch you. Well, my molester touched me that way. You can't. And I so we have got to give ourselves the gift of understanding the person that God has created, right? Created us to be, and all the scars that have come along with it up until now. And so I would say, if you really want to get into a conversation about coming into a courtship that will lead to a covenant without a facade, the best thing you can do for yourself is get to know yourself. Run quickly to somebody's therapist so that you can get to those things that you've been suppressing. So the person who only wants to love you doesn't have to deal with the you that only wants to suppress things.
Yeah.
You are talking well. And just to hear you say that, there's two M's that I kind of roll around in my head sometimes, especially when it comes to today's time. And it speaks to what you were just talking about, really knowing who you are. Is today's culture, they deal with the two M's. One is masking and the other one is meal tickets. And I asked myself, what's the catch with that? Like the masking and meal tickets. We have such a facade, we have such a mask on, and then we're just looking for people to be meal tickets. But in all actuality, we really need to deal with the stuff that's hiding behind those masks. And when we look at that, the things that's hiding behind those masks is they're really needing somebody to help them out,
right?
To give them a voice, to help them heal. Right. And so when you talk about the meal ticket, they just want somebody that's going to take them to a place to try to make them feel well
and
never really address what's going on behind that mask. Right. And so when we do that, we just spend time changing this mask and eating from place to place, having a meal ticket, having a guy pay, having a girl pay, but never learning self. Never learning, like, why do I feel like I need to be out in these places with these type of people? And the real reality is you're trying to get to know or needing or longing to know who you really are. So once you learn who you really are, you can take off the mask and say, guess what? I'm enough. Broke, busted, disgusted, bruised, or whatever. I'm enough. And I don't have to have somebody pay for me to do anything. I'm okay. With me, and I can do it myself.
If you would allow me,
I will.
It says something about how you see me.
Yeah.
It says something about how you see me, because if I'm just paying but you can see I'm broken.
Yes.
Right.
If I'm paying, but you can see that I'm in pain, and you don't care that I'm in pain, you don't care that I'm broken, all you care is that I'm paying. Or let's say it goes further and we get married.
Yes.
And all you care is that I'm providing.
Yes.
All you care is that I'm giving, but you don't care that I'm broken. Then it says something about how you see me or how you feel about me. I have to give my wife credit. One of the first things she did is she began to analyze and walk very softly in those broken places. And when she heard glass on the floor, she walked even softer. And she wouldn't, it was timing. Sometimes she wouldn't address the broken glass. Sometimes she wouldn't address, she know it's there. She would just leave it alone. And then in time she would say, hey, you know, I was just thinking, you know, she may bring up a conversation that's close to it where she can see my reaction, and then she can address that reaction, and then I can say something and see that she actually cares how I feel, that she cares what I think. And what it does is the way that it's done now, it creates a man who is not in touch, watch this, not with just his feelings. He is not in touch with yours either. He doesn't care. He's not in touch with his because he's been told to close that door and never open
again.
And he's not in touch with yours either because he feels like you ought to be just satisfied that I'm the meal ticket. Or you ought to be satisfied that I am a provider. I've talked to men and counseled men who thought that what they did was okay because I'm a provider. And I had to tell them that it's not okay. If you asked her, would she rather a provider or someone who runs out on her, I promise you, she's not going to choose. Most times she's not going to choose. I don't know about today, but most women would, they wouldn't choose, you know, the latter. And so her taking her time and getting to know those broken places. The first time, I tell you, the first time we had, I call it aggressive negotiations, not arguments. So,
aggressive negotiations. Write that in the chat, y'all. Aggressive negotiations. So no hostages, just aggressive.
We had aggressive negotiations. So the first time, corrupt communion.
Corrupt communication.
The first time we did, she was right. First of all, she was right.
Oh,
sorry. Say that again.
Yes, record it.
Yeah, you were right.
Can you say it in the camera?
She was right. The first time she was right. She's been wrong ever since, but let's not talk about that.
I understand.
But the first time,
cut. Just cut.
Edit that out. The first time she was actually right, and so as men do, I am pulling and picking, trying to find a way to curve this to my advantage, because most married people don't understand that you cannot win an argument. How can you win when you're on the same team?
Same team.
Right.
You can't win an argument. And so I'm picking, trying to curve things around to see if I can win this argument. Finally, I accept defeat. What she did changed everything. Because after accepting defeat, and I'm ready to just, you know, okay, I guess we're not going to be talking the rest of the day, you know, and tonight is going to be cold. And so I'm just, you know, this is it. She asked me, she said, how do you feel? And I was like, you know, how do I feel? You know, she's like, yes, I'm concerned. How does this make you feel? How do you feel? You know, and I thought it was a trick question, Bishop. I thought it was a trick question at first. I was like, oh, she trying to dig deeper. She trying to really get under my skin. She trying to, oh my God, like
we just scared.
Evil.
Yep.
So, but it shocked me that even after being wrong, she was concerned with how I felt, because even in her being right, she didn't want me to feel less than.
Right.
She didn't want me to feel less than. She didn't want me to walk on wet toilet paper. She didn't want me to. Right. She didn't want me to feel small. She wanted to make sure that, okay, that was a problem. We've corrected it now, and you are still my husband, my man, my leader. You still tell me where you want to go. I will follow. You are still all of that, even though you are wrong right there.
Right.
And so
for sure,
I think that that approach, and I'll tell this for all the young ladies that maybe want to be married one day, that approach allowed me to open up the door to all of my glass objects.
Yes.
Wow.
The things that you don't get to. The things that I can still buy you lunch, dinner, take you out, laugh, play with you, talk to you, and you still haven't made it through that door.
Right.
Sometimes even marry you and have kids and live together for the rest of our life, and you still never made it through that door.
Yeah.
Wow.
It made me open that door because it showed me that she actually cared about George Wardlaw.
Right. And that is important. Once us brothers really feel the love, not just hear it, right? Because people do a lot of talking, but once we feel it in our heart, it turns another door. It turns something on the inside of us. And it also makes us say, hey, that love that I thought I had, that kicks it up a notch.
That's
for your wife, and say, ooh, I got to give more of myself to her.
That's right.
I got to give more.
That's
right. Us, I don't know about you, Val, but for me as a wife, I'm all in. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent, no matter what it is, I still want you. Even if you didn't make the best decision, I still love you and your bad decision.
Right.
And I want to, and we've always lived by this, and I've always shared this with him. Even if the bottom falls out of it all, I want to be the one to be there with you to help you pick up the pieces.
Right.
Without saying I told you so, not saying, see, I see it, without the neck, the neck and all of the things.
Yeah.
I think it's important because here it is. Who we are today is not who we were when we first said I do. So I think it's only fair and it's only a level of respect and honor that I give you the grace and space to become. That I give you, and in becoming and becoming the man, or us becoming the woman of God that we got a glimpse of, but it's important that I give you that space. And in that space, you're going to make some mistakes. We're going to have some misunderstandings. And so I think sometimes we forget that it's going to be a struggle. You talked about the glass on the floor. Guess what? There's some chandeliers that's going to fall.
Right.
So it's some stuff that you saw on the floor, but then there's some stuff that's going to come out of nowhere. But even when all of those things are happening, I still, you're my life partner. I want to do life with you. Even when life is dark, I want to do life with you.
I'd like to add in that, we often talk about, we know that a man's job is to provide, protect, and be a priest in their home. But I think that we are remiss in that everyone wants to feel safe. And while my husband does not need me for physical safety, it is important that I provide emotional safety for him.
Hey friends, extra, extra, read all about it. Mike and Lizzie in the Marriage Toolbox is about to partner with Lovers for Life as they present their After 5 banquet entitled The Love Language. We are so excited to join Lady Renee Allen and Superintendent Rodney Allen for this extravaganza. You don't want to miss this banquet dining experience. Listen, it's Saturday, May 4th from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Dan Foley Cultural Center, 1499 North Camino Alto in Vallejo, California. Go on and do me a favor. Click on the information on this flyer. Get your tickets. They're going fast. Call them or text them 707-820-7601. Tell them Mike and Lizzie told you to knock on their door because you want to come in. We'll see you there. Bye-bye. Hey, our favorite couples. Guess what? Mike and Lizzie right here at the Marriage Toolbox. We feel like giving away a gift. How about we gift you with the photo shoot with Studio 237? Do us a favor. Share with us your love story. By April 26th, you may be selected for this gift.
You give your husband that same grace that you give to the son that you birthed, so your love for him knows no bounds.
Right.
Your love, your love for him is he's connected, and so there's nothing you do. And so that is what changed. Yeah. It changed my marriage so that if I wouldn't say it to Preston, now some of y'all so hateful, you even break your sons, and God be with you. But I'm talking to us mamas who love,
Right.
We have to give our husband that same grace. Wait a minute, and then some, because one day Preston is going to leave and cling to someone.